Alright, hi everyone, welcome to another video. As the May June 2026 exams are just next week, and based on a lot of student demand, today I'll be solving the October November 2025 ICT Paper 3 web expression without writing a single line of code. Alright, so I have downloaded the source files already over here. So first we'll start by creating the evidence document. Alright. So create a new word process document. Make sure your name, center number, and candidate number will appear on every page of this document. All right. So first, let's extract our files. All right. Now we can just create our evidence document over here. We click on new, then we click on Microsoft Word document. Now we take the name that they have told us to put. All right. Now we're supposed to make sure that our name, candidate number, and center number appear on every page of this document, right? So we just double click on the top of the page, or we go to insert and we click on header, and then we choose any of them. All right. So I'll type, we type it in the same format as they have said. So we first type the name, then the center number, and then the candidate number. All right. So all right, we save it, and then yeah. So now let's move on to the web expression. All right, so we start from here. So we're supposed to create a new folder called TC. Let's do that first. New folder, TC. Okay. Locate only the following files and store them in your TC folder: N25 badge, N25 logo, TC. Okay, let's look at them. So we don't cut them, we just copy them in case one of them gets corrupted by us, or we mistakenly delete it, or something happens. All right. So if when selecting, instead of selecting one by one, we can either use these checkboxes over here to select multiple at a time, right? So you can click on, if you can't see the checkboxes on yours, you click here, you click on show, then you click item checkboxes. Make sure it is ticked so that you are able to see these. All right. So we are taking badge, logo. Okay. So we copy them, which is Control C, go back, Control V. All right. Now display the contents of your TC folder, showing the folder name, all file names, file extensions, file sizes, and image dimensions. All right. So so first we resize the name. We just have to double click on the edges. All right. Size. All right. So all file names, file extensions. Okay. So if your file extensions aren't showing, you click on view, you come on show, then you make sure that file name extensions is checked. All right. All file names are visible. File extensions, we just made sure these are visible. File extensions, yes. File sizes and image dimensions. Okay, file size is here. Now to get the image dimension, we just click on sorry, we just right click on any of them. So I'll right click on, let's say, type. We go to more, we look for dimensions under D. uh, dimensions. Okay, then we select, we resize it. All right, and now we take a screenshot of this folder, making sure that the required information is clearly visible. Place this, place this as a screenshot in your evidence document. All right. So we press Windows plus Shift plus S. We take a screenshot of, we make sure to include the path so that the folder name is also visible. All right. So select from here. Okay. So this is step 4. So whenever we get an empty evidence document, we label, when putting the evidence, we label it with the step number. So this is step 12, right? So we write evidence step 12. Then we paste it. Make sure it's big enough. All right. And then one thing I'll suggest is that we, on the exam day, we use light mode on our computers because it will make the text more visible, right? Now look at this image I have taken. The text isn't really visible, and when it will be printed, it will become more blurred. So it's advisable to use dark mode. We right click in the desktop, personalize, and then we just go to colors, I think, and then we choose light mode. Yeah, I know it hurts our eyes, but then we have to stick with it for a while. All right. So let's continue. Okay. Okay, my Chrome. Okay. So we're done with this. Now we move on to the web page. You will create an external style sheet and edit a web page for our website. All color codes must be in hexadecimal. Your style sheet must not contain HTML or scripting language. Alright, this is something we should take note of. Create a new style sheet to meet the following specifications. Okay, so first let's create a new style sheet. We open web expression. Okay, I'll show you. Alright, we click on file, we click on new CSS. Alright, now we have just created a new CSS. So we set the back, okay, so we set the background for the web page so that it has a color with a blue component of FF, a red component of D8, and the green component of DD. All right. Now, how color codes work is that they start with a hashtag. All right. Then all colors are made up of the three basic primary colors: red, green, and blue. So the color code is written in the format of RRGGBB or RGB, and it is written in hexadecimal. All right. We don't need to know about that. All we should know is that we have red first, then the green, then the blue. All right. Just make it easier to visualize. Red. Now, for this particular question, we have been given the instruction to keep a blue component of FF. So our color code would be hashtag F F. Sorry. So we start with red. My bad. So D8, then green, which is DD, then F, which is the blue, All right, so this will be our color code. All right, so now let's let it. So we can click here. We click on new style. So we are doing this without writing any code. So if you have no knowledge, you can still no knowledge of how CSS code works, you can still do this without any hesitation. All right, so we click on color. All right, so first, uh, other than section. Okay, so you can just select from here. We type. Okay, my hashtag was. I'll just get the symbol. I don't have the hashtag on my keyboard. Hashtag, what was it? DADDFF. Alright. DADDFF seems to be the problem. Or instead of having to know if you for instance forget this syntax in the exam, you can click on color, you click more colors, and here we just type in the components for each of them. So blue is so red is D8, so D8, my bad. So okay, I'll just yeah. So I've already typed it. D8DDFF. Okay, we click apply. Okay, we're supposed to give it a name on this called body, and then all right. Since the background will be applied to the body, I wrote body there for the name of the style, all right, because the background is applied to the body section of the page. And then set the background to have a single image using the file. Okay, 1 second first. Let's check if our color code is correct. So we'll just type, right, so I'll just, uh, all right, so it was D, 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 F, F, all right, yes. So this is how our color is supposed to look like, and that is exactly how we have gotten it. Okay, so now let's proceed. Okay, we're done with this. Set the background to have a single image using the file n25badger.png and place this in the top left corner of the image. All right. So we just move to background. We click on background image. We click on browse. We go to desktop. Okay, so we choose from our TC folder. We have to ensure that all the files that we are using are from the same folder. So it was this one. And they said, all right, so now if we notice here at the bottom in the preview, the image is repeating, but in the question, it says that we are supposed to set the background to have a single image. So we click background repeat, no repeat. All right, all right, and then we are supposed to place it in the top left corner of the page. Now, if we see here, we can't directly choose where it is supposed to be. We have X and Y. Now, to understand that, just explain it here. All right, now we have X and Y. So let's say this is our web page. All right, and we have our X, sorry for the drawing, and Y. All right, this is the Y, this is the X. Okay, so now if we want an image in the, if you want the background in the top left corner, it must be somewhere over here, right? Where the Y is at its peak and X is negative, right? A bit of maths here. So from here, X will be top, Y would be left, right? Apply, and we click OK. All right, now we are done with this as well. Set the styles for all tables. Okay, so we are done with the body section. Now we are moving on to the table. Okay, so now we move on to another line. As you can see, we haven't written a single line of code yet. The interface is doing everything for us. We click on new style. Since we are applying to the table, we write table. Set the styles for all tables so that the borders are not collapsed. So we go to a box, I think. No, block. Uh, okay, table, border collapse. So if it's not collapsed, it will be separate. All right. Both border spacing and cell padding are set to 20 pixels. All right. Now here we need to understand what cell padding actually means instead of just rushing and applying it here. So when we have a table, right, it consists of rows and columns. Now, cell padding refers to the space you leave within the cell before you place your data. So this has maybe say cell padding of 5 pixels. This can have 10 pixels. This can have 1 pixel maybe. So our data will be like stored at the edge part. I hope you get what I mean. All right. So the cell padding is applied to the table data. It's not applied to the table borders. All right. So we won't select the cell padding from here. We just set the border spacing to 20 pixels. Make sure it is pixels. Px is for pixels, pt is point, inches, centimeters, millimeters, all right, etc. So here, and then what is the next instruction? So we have done this. We are yet to do this. All the tables are right aligned in the browser window. All right, now if this is our browser window, all right, if for the table to be right aligned, right, let me just, all right, Okay, so for it to be aligned to the right side, the margin, uh, the alignment for the right side must be set to 0, all right, so that it stays at the right side. And the alignment for left should stay ortho, so that it adjusts by itself based on the screen size. So I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to explain here. So we click on margin, right will be 0 because it's staying at the right side, and left becomes auto. All right. Okay, so I'll just use a better example here to explain. Let's say we have a phone, and this is our table. Now over here, right will still remain 0. Okay, my drawing. Okay, right still remains 0, but left has adjusted so that the table is pushed maximum to the right side. But now at the same time, if we use a tablet, it still has to adjust more for the left side so that there's more space there, and it adjusts to the right and it aligns to the right side. All right, I hope you guys understand what I was trying to explain here. So we are done with this. We click on apply. Okay, and now let's apply the cell padding. Now the cell padding is applied to the table data. All right, so we write TD standing for table data. All right, so we go to box. Over here, you don't have to memorize where we go to do what. You can just scroll through them and look at where you can find what and apply accordingly. All right, so we set it to 20. Okay, they didn't mention if we're just supposed to apply to the top, left, or right, or bottom. So we set it to same for all of them. All right, apply, and the code has been added. As you can see, we still haven't written any single line of code by ourselves. All right, now we're done with this. Create a new class called center that forces text to be center aligned. All right. Now, what a class does is basically that a class is used to affect one particular area of a web page. So it can affect the paragraph style, it can affect your table, it can affect anything in your uh, web page. All right. So a class is defined, and then it's defined in the CSS, and then it's called in the HTML. All right. So in the CSS, we will define it. All right. We click on new style. And whenever we are defining a new class, we start with a full stop or a period. So full stop, CENTRE. All right. It forces text to be center aligned. So go to box. No, it's block probably. Yeah, text align. We click on center, apply, and we click OK. As you can see, the class has been created. All right. Now, the last task for the CSS is that we are supposed to add a comment at the end of the style sheet to contain your name, center number, and candidate number. All right, let's do that. So this is something that we have to do ourselves only. So for comments, we write the forward slash followed by asterisks. Then we write our name, the candidate, no, the center number, my bad. I'm just putting example values, you can put yours. All right. And once we start it, we have to close it. So we start with a slash, with a forward slash, we end with a backward slash, all right? No, I mean forward slash again. So we put the slash, the asterisks, then whatever the comment is, and we close it, all right? Now notice if you don't close it, okay, and you place it at the top of your, everything becomes green. So to close it, we do this, and now just this is a comment. The rest is CSS. Okay, we are done with this as well. Save this in external cascading style sheet format. This is nothing special, it just means CSS. All right, don't get scared by the wording. Uh, as TC2 followed by your center number and candidate number. All right, I'll just copy this. So we're going to save it in the folder we created. So we click Save As, Desktop, TC, center number. All right, dot CSS. All right. If you're doing Cambridge exams, this might actually save your grades. I just tried out this platform called Cambridge Assistant, and it's actually crazy useful. It has notes that are directly based on the syllabus, plus topical and yearly past papers with full explanations. But the best part, you can upload a past paper and the AI literally walks you through it step by step, like a tutor. There is also something called a Smart Examiner, where you submit your answer and it marks using the actual mark scheme, and it even shows you how to improve. And if you want, you can even build your own tests for revision. And if you want to try it, you can use my code PTAB10 for an extra 10% discount. If you're serious about IGCSE or A-levels, this is definitely something worth checking out. We're done with this part. Take a screenshot to show the file name and the contents of your style sheet. Make sure that the file name and all contents are clearly visible. Alright, so this is step 13. So we come here basically and we take a screenshot of this. Alright, we place it here. Make sure the text is fully visible. Alright, now you can see that since we're using light mode, it is better, it is more visible on a white paper. Otherwise, it just wastes ink for the background and the text also isn't visible. It can cost you mark as well, alright? So watch out for that. Now, moving on to the HTML itself. So first, open and examine the file n25tc.htm in your editing software. Let's do that. So we click on it, right click, open with, alright, I'll just close this. Okay, so this is the web page. You can look at it in the design view. Okay, edit the web page so that it has a structure as shown in the following diagram. The dotted borders are for your information and show the structure of the table cells. These must not be visible. Alright, these must not be visible on your web page. Okay, so here this is our table. Basically, we have these rows, these are the rows, and these are the columns. All right, now what we have done basically over here was that first this was one row itself, this was one, this was one, but now we have merged all of this part, so it has become one big cell. All right, so don't get scared by this. Same over here. All right. So now let's look at our web page. So we can open it in our browser. Uh, see, right, this is how it is looking like. So for now, we can get our table borders so that we know how it looks like. We set it to 1, we refresh, all right. Now let's compare it. Okay, let's compare it with the one we have been given over here. Now we have groundwork, brickwork, roofing, and contact. All right, that's fine. But this reaches till contact us, all right. But here it doesn't, so we have to fix that, all right. So the row span hasn't been done well, so we'll just correct that here. So this is one of the only parts where we have to write something ourselves, because it is possible to do it without it actually. I'll show you a way. So click on table properties, I think. No, that won't work since there's already an image in there. It is just going to mess it up. So if there wasn't an image here, we could have done it without having to write something by ourselves. So we'll just do it right now. Row span is equals to 2, I believe. No, 4. Because if we see here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are merging across the rows, alright? We are merging the rows. So row span 4, alright? Right now it's just taking one row. So we do that, we click Control plus S, Control R, and now we can see that it looks something like this on the top, alright? Now, next, the bottom part is also, I'll just zoom out a bit, right? Now, all of this is also supposed to be merged, so we'll fix that as well. Where's the other image? Row span is equals to 2, we hit save, and now we can see that it is perfectly fine, alright? This was supposed to come here. Originally it was here, so we moved it here. Alright. Now our web page finally looks like this. So now we can remove the borders because they are not supposed to be visible. Alright. So we set it back to 0. Okay, perfect. Attach the style sheet N25TC1 to this web page. Okay. So we just click here. You come click on attach style sheet. We browse. Alright. See, we didn't have to type anything. Control S. Alright. This style sheet was already created for us. We didn't create this one. Now we're done with this. Attach the style sheet created in step 13. So this one, to this web page so that it has a higher priority than N25TC1. Okay. Now for it to have a higher priority, we need to understand that HTML is run line by line. So when I run it in my browser, first it goes through line 1, then line 2, then line 3. So if I have my first style sheet on line 4, it is read before my new style sheet, right? So whatever my new style sheet consists of, it will override the first one. Okay? I hope you understand what I'm saying. So if I attach this here, right? Now my browser will first go through the other style sheet, the one that we didn't create, all right, and it will apply all those styles, and then after it has finished going through the the first style sheet, it will move on to the second one, which if which overrides the first one. All right, now we can test it here first. It looks like this, but now when we refresh, I think there's something wrong with our color code. uh, okay, so to edit it, we right click on body, we click modify style. Okay, so this we entered it in the wrong place. Background, it is supposed to be here. My bad. Apologies. Uh, so it's DADDFF. Okay. Uh, okay, that didn't save. Okay, it saved. Control S. Okay, the hashtag. All right. All right. Apologies for the mistake. My bad. All right. Now we're done with this. Set the title of the web page to Tawara Construction. One thing we have to note is that right now we have the privilege of copy pasting the text we see, but in the exam, since we'll have the hard copy, we have to type ourselves and avoid all errors. All right. Now to add the uh, title of the web page, all of these come under the metadata of the web page. Now, what metadata is basically information about the web page. All right. So to set that, we click on File, I think. We go to Properties, and here we can see title, so we just paste this. All right. Here we can see other meta data as well. We can see default target frame, base location, keywords, page description. We can even create our own. All right. We can even add book watermarks and stuff. All right. So all of that is part of the syllabus actually. All right. Now make the text. Okay. I'll just save this. Right now, notice over here we have N25TC first. Now, when we refresh, it changes to Tawara Construction. Make sure the text contact us, make the text contacts us a link to an email editor. All right. So we look for that. The text is in. We select it and we right click. We click on hyperlink and we now write the address. All right. So just copy from here. All right. With the subject line quote requested. So the subject, okay, my bad, we are not supposed to add the email here. We click on email address first. So this will be the email subject. This will be the email. All right, click OK. And now you can check in the code, it has been added over here. All right, we're done with this. 17. In the lower right cell of the table, replace the text a candidate with your name, center number, and candidate number. All right. So basically this, place this text on a new line. So we just look for that. Since we're supposed to place it on a new line, we just start over here, page 3. All right, we save. Now we can check. It is on a new line. Perfect. Apply the class center created in step 13 to all of these steps. All right, all of these steps. So for this, we can look for class over here and apply that, or to make it easier, right, we just come over here inside the tab, we click on class is equals to center. All right, so we copy this for the second one as well. We save. Now there is actually a way to select the class from here, but I seem to have forgotten it, I think. Yeah. All right, perfect. Set in the HTML the name of the default target window to self. Now, what this default target window does is basically when you open the web page, it decides whether it should open in the current tab or another tab. All right. So that is another metadata. So you click here, you go to properties, default target frame, we set it to what? Self. Okay. We save. Set a meta tag in the HTML to include your name as the author of the web page. Now, if you noticed, we saw author over here somewhere. Okay, just right click over here. We go to design view. We right click outside the table. We go to page properties, and the author should be somewhere here. Okay, so I'll just write the code for it then. All right. So we're done with step 20. Now, this is basically how we do step 20. All right. We save our work, take a copy of your HTML source and place this in your evidence document. So we click Control A, Control C. We click here, go to a new page, evidence step 21. And we paste it here. Now what I suggest doing is that you select all of this text and you change the line spacing to single so that it looks more better, right? Take a copy. Okay, we're done with that. Display your web browser in a page. All right, let's display. And if necessary, resize so that blah blah. Okay, now for this particular task, what I would recommend you to do is that you copy this URL from here into Microsoft Edge, which all Windows computers must have. All right, or either you can just over here, while opening, you can just open with Microsoft Edge. All right, so when we open it, we click Control Shift and S, then we click capture full page, we copy it. All right, now we paste that here. All right, now you can see we got the full page. Okay, Now, but if you read the question carefully, uh, it says, if necessary, resize so that all the text can be seen, all the page can be seen, and the address bar is visible. But in our evidence, we didn't get the address bar here, all right? So to do that, we press Windows Shift S. We only take screenshot of the black part, I mean the address bar, all right? This is an easier method as you don't have to be resizing it over and over again, all right? Click on picture format and make sure it wraps text, both of them, all right? Zoom in. We, we press Shift and we click on both images, all right? Then we right click, we click on group. Alright, but before we do that, we must make sure that they are on top. Okay, so wrap text. Okay, now make sure that it doesn't seem fishy at all. Right? Yeah, it seems good enough right now. So we click shift, we select both images, right click, group, and we click on group. Now it has become one image, alright? Now you can move this around as one image, okay? And we can see that everything is fully visible here, alright? Um, all right, now we just print, after this, we print the evidence document and we are done with the web expression part. All right, now if this video was useful to you, make sure to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel perhaps. I will be posting a guide consisting of the frequently asked questions by ICT students as well. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can comment down and I'll try my best to answer them as soon as possible. And I also have a Discord server. You can join that and ask me any doubts, any help you need for ICT directly. All right. The link will be in the description. Share this video with your friends. All right. That is the favor I'll ask from you. All right. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.